I'm Naisargi. I am originally from Ahmedabad, India. That's in the state of Gujarat. I got my civil engineering degree in India, and right after that, I got my master's degree in environmental engineering in University of Nebraska, Lincoln. So when I graduated, this job came along. That was the research job. It was in a very, very good research institute. However, a few years that I would say specifically like 1.5 years into the job, I realized that while the culture is great, the people are great, it's still not where my heart is at. I still like my work in environmental engineering and science. And so I made the decision to change jobs while on my OPT. The challenge was that I had to convince the new employer that this is a work permit that will expire at some point. And so that was a really challenging moment. So if I would stay in my job, it would be easier because the people would know my situation. Now, if I change the job, it's more difficult to explain the whole thing all over again. Right. So that was one of the challenges, and that was something it was really hard to find outside from other people because not everyone is experiencing the same thing. Now, however, everything worked out. I joined ICAway and I met a lot of people going through the same exact thing. And all of a sudden, I felt like, oh, it's no big deal. A lot of people feel this. And so it sort of gave me the strength to go through the process, which I will be honest, I did lose at one point. So yeah, that was really helpful. And finally, I got this job as an environmental scientist at EA Engineering, and it's a company, it's a private company that does environmental services contracts with the state government, the federal government, local governments, and a lot of times even larger corporations.
Wow. Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Moving from research role to scientist role in a private company, no more research institution anymore or academic setting anymore, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I'm so happy for you, Naisagi. And you are so right about our thought process when we have that work authorization OPT. Sometimes international students feel that for some reason they feel guilty about having that OPT and did not feel so confident in communicating your work authorization with your target professionals and target companies, right? But you
Yeah.
overcome that barrier and you are brave, you are bold, you go out there, network with lots of people, and right here you have a great job offer in front of you.
Yeah. I definitely networked a lot more after I joined ICAway. I wasn't doing it enough before.
Okay, would love to learn more. But before getting into that, can you tell us a little bit how did you know about ICAway and why did you decide to join ICAway?
So actually, this is going to be answer to maybe two of your questions. But one
Okay.
of the very great things about ICAway is the community of students you've got. Uh, that's how I learned about ICAway. I didn't know anything about ICAway, and one of my friends who is an ICAway alumni, Rupinder, and she introduced me to you and ICAway both, and she just said, well, listen, why don't you just try it? Just get on a call and then you can decide. And I can understand that it is challenging when you're job searching to think about the fact that I still don't even have a job yet. Why would I want to sign up for something, pay for something? That's not usually the mindset we go in with into job search. So I understand that I was at that point, and so I remember I just got on a call with you, and instantly I felt like, yes, I want to do this because um, all of a sudden there was just somebody who understood everything I was talking about. I didn't have to try too hard to explain my work situation, my visa situation, or even the challenges about, networking and job searching. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I joined ICAway. One, obviously, my friend recommended it, and two, it was really easy to make that decision when I first talked to you.
That means a lot, Naisargi. Let's talk more about your transformation. Would love to hear about the transformation before joining ICAway and after.
Yes, um, it's a big transformation. So before I joined ICAway, obviously I was doing random job applications like most people. However, I was not unknown to the idea of networking. Fortunately, I had really good mentors at that time. They were also helping me, and they were helping me get set up in the networking scene. Setting up calls for me, contacts for me, and I mean, I was grateful, but at the same time, I constantly felt like someone is doing me a favor. And so, because of that feeling, I don't think I was doing justice to the networking calls I was doing. So, while I was still getting those calls through my mentors and connections, I was not speaking with my network in the way I should be speaking to. That would eventually turn into a job because I was really awkward about it that, oh, someone's doing me a favor for my job search. And so after I joined ICAway, that outlook completely changed. My point of view completely changed. And instantly I thought, they're not doing me a favor. This is the whole point is this is networking. They are also getting something out of it. It's not just me who gets something out of it. And so then I started looking at it as a more of a two-way street. So instead of just going on calls and saying, here I am, I need a job, I would actually try to make it a lot more meaningful, understanding their situation. Why did they agree to the call in the first place? And so understanding that, time is really precious for people. And so if they get on a call with me, it means I must have something in me, something good that they like. And so that's how I approached the networking scene. And honestly, that changed everything. And then at that point, it didn't stop to networking. It then moved to my interview process also. That I was really confident when I was giving my answers in interviews because then it felt less like interrogation and more like a conversation. So that's a really big thing I have achieved, and that's a huge transformation to have happened. And I don't think I would have ever thought about it unless I joined ICLA.
Congratulations again, and I am so proud of you.
The Asian niceness or the Asian politeness
Mhm.
is a very real thing, and I didn't know I had it in me until somebody showed me a mirror and said, look, this is what you're doing. This is not how it works here.
As our training is delivered online, some people may feel like, how can that be customized to their job search situation, especially with the career goal? Like your goal is environmental scientist, right? How can Coach Kwan, who never have any experience with an environmental science, coach you and help you build a career brand? Maybe can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think honestly, to be 100% honest, I had that doubt myself that how is someone going to help me if they have no experience about what environmental scientist even does? But it's all in the assignments. So the assignments, as you can see, there are some guiding questions that, hey, do this research first and then pick your job title. And so those assignments are really the key. It's not even about the modules. Anyone can view the modules, and honestly, that content you can actually go anywhere to find some of that advice. That's not something um, you should think is your primary content in ICAway. It's the primary content is that assignment and the conversations you're going to be having and the back and forth follow up you're going to be having in your job search process. So I think that is really awesome that it completely customizes your roadmap from what you think you would be doing before. So there obviously there are some of the keys like okay, you're going to be doing networking and then you're going to be job searching, and you have some sort of like a ratio of how much time you spend on it. That's all going to be standard, but what makes it customized is that you at one point will know what is the perfect job for you. And so, regardless of whether or not you get it, you will know what you're good at and you will know what you should chase. And so, that is really helpful in the module, the assignments
Thank you for
and
the
the
feedback.
conversations. Yeah.
Yes, of course, of course. We always meet like every Sunday as well with the group, right? If our students are available, join us. I'm here for you, answer all questions and give you some perspective about job posting past week. I would love to learn a little bit. You mentioned that at the beginning of your career search journey, you you did not believe that one should invest in something that they don't know what the result gonna be. But then what changed your mind and how did you feel about this investment in the program?
Mhm. I think something that really helped me was talking to the past students. In this, in my case, it was Rupinder.
Mhm.
Um, those recommendations are really helpful because when you come across something, it's just online, it's on the web. You don't know whether you want to trust it, and it's still an investment you're going to be making.
Mhm.
Um, which I'm now calling it an investment. At that time, I was saying I will be spending money. Now that mindset has changed to calling it an investment. But at that time, I was still thinking I'm going to be spending money to earn more money, and that did not sound right. But then when you get those recommendations, so I still encourage that if a student is on the fence about it, just reach out to past students, um, and then ask them your questions that, hey, how was your experience? um, we have all the testimonials on the website, of course, but one of the very good things about ICAway is this community. They're always willing to help. And yeah, I think that's what really helped me change my mind, that it was coming directly from a person I trusted. And I was seeing direct results from not one, just so many people that they got the job change and they got a new job in the pandemic. And seeing the results is the key to help me make a decision. So if that's something, if a student is on the fence about, I think maybe think about the results you're going to have, and then obviously reach out to other students. We are always more than happy to help. At least I am. So you can reach out to me.
Anything else that you would like to share to international students, maybe who are graduating next year?
Yes, actually, I feel like they are much, much, much braver than I am, or they will have a much larger challenge probably than I have faced, or any of us have faced, because people are already thinking about cutting down jobs and they will be graduating. Um, However, you will have much larger need for support than any of us have had before. And so, in that sense, for those who are graduating, I think It is not my place to give you any advice about job search or anything because it's going to be a completely different world. I think what I can say is that support matters the most in the long run. And that's something you can get in ICAway very easily. You don't have to try hard for it. Uh, Everyone understands what you're going through. You don't have to try hard to explain it. And so that's energy saved and that's energy gained for me. And so if you want a community like that, ICAway is the best place to get it. Just always feel free to reach out. Never, you might be Asian, you might be non-Asian, still international, that's fine. But American culture, the job search culture, if you are not familiar with it, it can be stressful and daunting, and you have no idea what to expect as an international. Actually, I would like to add one more thing that, especially for new graduates, I would say by being from a different culture, by being from a different country, having studied in this country in the middle of a pandemic, graduating in the middle of a pandemic, you already bring a lot more to the team, to the work, and to the experience than your usual. So even though you feel like you have no experience, you have a really good resilience experience, and that's an interpersonal personal skill that's going to be very much needed in the workforce. So just think about that. Like, you have more resilience than most of us.